to another stand-up, man. You know, yesterday's episode was one of our challenging days. We were kind of talking about what happens when projects end and how does that affect the business. And you know, I didn't lose a wink of sleep last night to that. I lost sleep to my 7-month-year-old, but definitely didn't lose it about what the business holds. And I'm optimistic about our immediate future, and all of that's great. So we're back at it for today, and we're building in public. And I think one of the topics that we are constantly talking about is how can we replace some of our surface area of tools that we pay for or subscribe to as a business. Some of the tools that we have are easier than other tools, like simpler than other tools. So one of the ones that we're thinking about replacing, or like, do I really need to pay a subscription to this, is Loom.com. We love Loom. Loom solves a real big problem here for our business. It maps right back to one of our ethos, which is demos over deadlines. How do you constantly show progress and show updates to customers and to internal stakeholders? Something visual, especially when it's just on somebody's local machine and has not been deployed. So we love Loom to be able to demo or take a look at progress in real time. But it's also one of those tools which is likely just vibe codable, and likely something that we can just reproduce, and something that can live within fin forecasting as we think about our project management solution, and adding a layer of, you know, demo over deadline proof that the update has taken place according to the ticket. So Mike, dude, welcome to another episode. I think we're going to spend some time today talking about replacing some of the tools that we use, especially the ones that we really like and provide value to the business. No hate against any platform at all. But dude, I think you're going to build in public real quick, like quite literally. So first of all, what's your perspective on a product like Loom and how we use that type of a product here for our business?
Yeah, so my perspective is I use Loom to demo all sorts of things. We do this. I mean, it's probably the best way to demo something to a customer. You know, if you've ever given a customer a link and then they go, "Oh, it doesn't work for me," and all that kind of stuff. Loom is great because you show the video of, "Hey, here it is. I just ran through. This is the feature," so they can watch the video, they can confirm that it works, and it's great. The thing about Loom that hit me is I saw the bill and I was like $192 last month. You know, people are like, oh, $192 for that functionality isn't that great. I'm like, not anymore, because Claude Code literally cost me 200 and is saving me thousands of hours. So the bar has gone way up for what I'm willing to pay for. Like, we use FormSpree for our forms on some websites, and $5 a month, great. I'm not replacing that for $5 a month. But at $192, I was kind of like, could I replace this? I don't really need the link. I don't really need the cloud storage. I'm okay if it just downloads. I've got Google Drive. I've got Dropbox. I got cloud storage out the ass. You know what I mean? All sorts of things that can provide me with a link. I don't really need their cloud storage. I don't need the analytics. I don't care. Somebody viewed your video. Literally don't care. I don't need transcriptions. I just want the ability to take a screen recording with my voice. I like the little circle in the bottom. So there's like screen recording on my Linux computer, but it doesn't record with sound. And then someone was like, use OBS Studio. And I was like,
Too
no,
complex.
I need the,
We also
if
use
you remember,
jams. You know, we use jams here to just do like a device level recreation, like all sorts of little tools that we're using to solve the problem of record your screen. And so we're just going to reduce the complexity of this problem and just build a simple screen record. We're going to save it with voice.
Picture voice. Yeah. I want to be able to talk and do the demo. I don't need like any kind of fancy arrows or anything like that. Just, this is literally the use case that we use it for. It'll go right to like a local drive. And so I thought, could this just be built in the browser? It'll be open source, so y'all can use it. And I'll make it. And my goal is to actually make it a GitHub pages similar to our lit website. So you could actually just go to the GitHub URL and just use this thing. It'll save to your local file system. If you want to fork it and like make it all fancy, you can. If you want to contribute to it, you can. But my goal is like, hey, I'm going to call it Unloom, and it's just just the Unloom. I'm like, you know, I don't really need all these features. And so this is kind of one of the advantages of AI is I'm not looking to build another SaaS product or a competitor. It's easy to get into that. So how did I start? As most things, I was just like hammock-driven development, you know, the Rich Hickey style. He talks about this hammock-driven development where you're just thinking. I was just thinking about it, and then I pulled out Claude and I was chatting with it, and came up with a plan I think is pretty good for it in the Claude app on my phone. So I'm going to like load that up, throw it into Claude Code, let it build, push to GitHub, turn on GitHub pages, and see if it works. Like, yeah. And I
Yeah.
was like, and if that's why I said to you, I go, this might actually be really quick. I don't, it's just browser APIs. So it might work really well. There might be some technical difficulties with GitHub. I don't know. We're about to find out though. GitHub Pages has always been pretty simple for me. So let me share up the screen here
And like
and
anything else, we've been talking about this topic a lot yesterday. We talked about this with John Cricket. Shout out to our podcast episode yesterday on Strictly from Nowhere with John Cricket. What's the absolute minimum product that you need? So like we could add all sorts of bells and whistles. Like there are all sorts of conveniences that I could ask you for right now. But why? Like we just have to prove the little thing first, which is simple browser recording. So start with the minimum surface area. If it works, great. You can decide whether you want to add some more to it or whether we want to include it in other tools or any additional functionality. But for now, keep it simple.
exactly right. So I'm going to do a little like planning within the planning just to give you guys if you haven't seen it before, what my setup is. It's the terminal in usually just split three ways like this. On this side is kind of the code base. I usually just open this up in NeoVim. Sorry. And I'll just kind of keep that open because then I can kind of see what's going on. And then this would be if I was running any kind of server. I don't think we're going to do that today. I think we're just going to push this to Git and just make it a GitHub page and see if it works. And I'm running tmux. So if you kind of look here, you could see all my sessions. These are all the sessions that I'm working on. Tmux is great because I can kill a session and it will keep everything running. So if I accidentally close the terminal by mistake, that's the setup. This is not what I was looking for. Hang on. Let me grab my Markdown doc. So this is the Markdown that I came up with. This is it. So let's just take a look here with Claude. Pop it in there. It's going to, I like to enter planning mode. Even if I have a plan like this, I could probably just put it into execution. What I like though is Claude Code will sometimes ask me questions that may still be ambiguous to it. And you've seen that before. It may not have any follow-ups. Yeah, there you go. This directory is empty. This is a greenfield project. The spec is comprehensive. So I have a clear picture of what to build. Let me create the implementation plan. It'll rock the plan according to the spec, and we'll rock and roll here. So I don't know. I'm excited by stuff like this too. So there's a lot of like, oh, this is like SaaS, everything's going to be SaaS. It's really cool that you can just kind of build little pointy tools that you need when you need them.
I also think it's we're blessed, right? Like we're blessed to know where these problems exist. We're blessed to have the skills to be able to create little pointy tools. We're only at a place right now in the business's health where we have the free time to even think about these tools, let alone try and build a couple of them to replace. We also made the investment in the existing best-in-class SaaS platform, which is Loom.com, and we've used it for years. Like we know that the product is valuable. We know that at a minimum we're going to use it, and so all of these things are really important. Like we're blessed to even have this scenario to where we see things that we even can replace. Some people have no experience in what we're doing, and so how could you even have the hammock thought? You know, you're thinking about
Right.
your real business, your real life, your real expenses, your real use cases. It's kind of the impetus of all of our innovation here.
And so as you saw, it put together a plan. It asked me what I thought, and I'm going to give it access to make directory. I never run it in dangerous mode. Some people like to, but I do say like things like make directory, these commands, I will allow those always. I should probably, this is like another thing I want to do is just all the commands, all the bash commands that I consistently want to let Claude Code just execute. I wish that could be in, like, I just want to put that in a global config. And I probably have, there's probably a way to do that. I'm just thinking of it now. Like, it's because I work in the same couple of code bases over and over again. I forget that I've already enabled all those commands, but whenever I do a new demo and it asks me again, I'm like, wait a minute, I should probably whitelist that. So really cool. It looks like it's going to build some storage JS. So it is going to store some stuff in IndexedDB in your browser. So this is going to only work in like Chrome, I think Edge and Brave, Chrome-based browsers. It won't work in Firefox, won't work in Safari, which, once again, I'm building this for me. If you use Firefox or Safari, you could go figure that out. Like, I don't care. So there you go. These are the nice things about this. When you build a SaaS product, you got to build it for everybody. You got to cross browser test. You got to do all this stuff. When you build it for you, you don't have to think about that. And
Right.
who knows? Maybe we do roll it out. I'm not going to make the Chrome extension either. What I'm going to do though is I'll probably make it a web app, and I could even show you that on Arch Linux, which is really cool. So once this is done and we have a valid URL, I can actually make it an app that feels like a native app on my desktop, and we can test it out. So
But now
that
you
could be
see,
cool.
like, I'm holding my tongue because now you can see all the little tiny conveniences that I could potentially ask for, like the Chrome extension. I use the Loom Chrome extension exclusively. Something super convenient that just like powers the experience. Do I ask for that right now though? Like, what's the point? Let's just prove that this even freaking works. Choose one browser. Let's just make it for Chrome or whatever browser you intend. You use Edge or something like that. Just use it for what your use case is. Then you have to think
No,
about
I
like,
use
okay,
Chrome.
yeah,
I
Chrome's
don't have
great.
Edge.
So then you just have to figure out like, okay, well, if you're going to roll this out to the team, if you're going to try and build it into another tool like Fin, like yada, yada, great. So we'll create like some enhancements to this little base product. But for today, and to get something that just proves that it's possible in just a few minutes out the door, you got to trim scope. Otherwise, you and me are going to be here for 2 hours trying to lollygag.
Yeah, and again, it's probably easy enough. I could probably follow up and ask it to do the browser extension. My feeling
Great.
on the browser extension is I would just as easily use this as a bookmark, though. Like
That's cool.
I don't I don't think that I would think to use the browser extension if like I don't really care. And again, in my specific desktop, I can just make this a app. So I'm just gonna like literally make it so when I go like this, I can just like I can go super space and then I could just type Unloom and it'll throw it up. It'll do the recording. It'll do its thing. Hang on one sec. Looks like it's asking me a question here. Python HTTP server, sure. I'm not gonna have it ask me that every time it wants to do that. It can create a Python server if yeah.
Now, here's a question. One of the conveniences of Loom, very similar to like any screen share in your favorite virtual meeting platform. We use Google Meet here, but think about Zoom or wherever else. Is the ability to choose the window, the entire screen, the tab. Are you going to worry about that complexity? Are you hoping that that just
Dude,
handles it right now?
that's all a part of the browser. So like
Cool.
I don't none of that. So it's supposed to be running at localhost 8000. So let me take a look. You guys, I'm not sharing that part of my screen. I'm just going to quick take a peek. It does look like it is running. So hang on, let me stop sharing. And I'll share my browser window so we can like try what it built and see. Let's see. I've never like recorded within a recording like this. We'll see what happens. Screen, window. Let's do my browser. Let's share it. Okay, you got the infinite mirror, the infinity mirror, the classic. All right, this is Unloom. Do you see it?
I see it.
So like I can
Even
select a
stole the
folder.
colors.
Let's just say that I want it to be like home and Dropbox, and I can do a new folder probably, right? I can do
Could just be
add a
local, like
folder.
just desktop.
I
You
could
can
just do,
choose
you could
wherever.
do anywhere you want. I'm just gonna make it Unloom videos. I'm just gonna create this here.
Are you seeing a pop up right now or something? Because I only see the select folder button. It might just be not displaying. So what are you
Yeah,
seeing?
it's the standard browser select
Okay.
that screen. I'm sorry, yeah, so I guess it's not showing that. So allow this site to edit files. It's going to ask permission. Amazing. So I'm letting it edit files, and then like let me start recording. And then it's asking me, do you see it's asking me about the screen
I
or
don't.
no? Okay, so it's doing exactly what you said. It's asking me what I want to share.
Now
So
I see
now I'm
it.
going to
Now I can
share.
see it. Terrific.
Yeah. So it's share entire screen, share, and allow while visiting the site. Sure, microphone is in use. It is recording. So here we are just kind of doing oh, look, I got the HD is sharing your screen. So I got the second. Do you see this?
I
So
don't, but you did select entire screen. So if you move to a different tab, it's going to record that. If you like move to your terminal, it's going to record that. It's just recording the entire screen. Actually, that's a
exactly
good
right.
question. Is it going to record applications outside of the browser? So is it really an entire screen? Could you record?
let me
Something
toggle over
outside.
here. I'll do some random typing. So let's like record out here. Let me come back to the browser. So I've kind of popped back and forth, and then let's stop recording. What do we got here? Play it. Sound is on. So I'm not sure. I can't hear any sound. It's definitely recorded the video though, but I don't hear any sound. So that is interesting. The question is, did it like get the right microphone is maybe the problem. So maybe we additionally need like a settings feature. And let me stop sharing here. Let me stop sharing. Let's go back to the code and talk about what we're seeing, because this is exactly what I would do. Let's screen, entire screen. Let's pop back over here. Let me share this. Cool. So now you guys can see that. Let's just say like, okay, just tested it out and the recording function works great. Could not hear myself and don't see what the mic settings were. We may need to add a feature that lets the user update or see what microphone was connected. I didn't get any audio. I also didn't get my webcam recording in the bottom left-hand corner. Let's see what it says. Sometimes I'll re-enter plan mode for this type of thing too. Like I'll re-enter and let it like investigate, but right now I'll leave it for a second. Let me add both features, microphone selector and the webcam overlay, picture-in-picture camera in the corner. Let it do that. We'll vibe through this, man. Really good stuff. So yeah, we just see it kind of doing the preview. Let's see what happens. I'm adding the microphone. I'm adding the picture-in-picture. It's vibing through that right now.
Let me ask you a question. When you were selecting, in the browser, it was asking you which window, but then you also got the pop-up to enable camera and microphone.
Yeah.
What happened with that?
So it enabled microphone, but it didn't enable camera because it didn't do that part. So it's going to add the picture-in-picture for the camera. So now the next time we reload this, it should do that, but it's also adding a microphone selector so that it'll show me, because what I think happened is it probably connected to like my USB condenser mic that has been giving me trouble all this time instead of my headphones. That's what I think probably happened. So we'll find out in a second. What I love about it though, I like how they built like the little recording library thing.
Now here's a question.
that.
One of the conveniences of Loom, and this comes into like cloud storage and persistent URLs, and one of the things is the ability to share a link to the video. So is your vision that you're just going to share a file? Because these files are going to be lots of megabytes, maybe even gigabyte size files, depending on the size of the recording. So what's your vision for sharing?
Either or. So you can either connect it to Dropbox or your Google Drive, which I did it in my Dropbox.
Okay, great.
And I'm going to share you the Dropbox URL. However, I have a different opinion on that, because now when I want to cancel Loom, I realize something. I've written documentation for people with Loom URLs.
Totally.
And I wish I embedded the video, because now, granted, I didn't do this enough that I think that people are like still watching these, so I'm still going to cancel this, and I'll just, that'll be that, because I didn't. But I realize now, oh crap! Like if somebody was rewatching any of my Loom videos or using it as a part of docs, it really should have been a file, and this entire time. So let me share my screen now. Let me flip the share, because I want to share the update, because it's now ready to go. I'm going to share the entire screen. See outputs. Let's do this. Let's share. Cool. You see everything. Let's go over to Unloom. So now, do you see all of this?
Yes.
Look at that. The live streamer camera, allow while visiting the site. That's on. Microphone. See, it connected to the wrong one. Nothing headphone. That's what I really wanted. Now, camera on.
Should sponsor this podcast.
Camera. No, bro, these are my favorites.
I know, dude. I have them too.
You don't even have. You don't even have to sponsor me. That's how good this is. It's like one of my favorite things. So now I'm able to pick my microphone. I'm able to pick my camera source. I was able to turn it on. I would definitely I'll clean up this UI, but I just want the thing to work for now. Let's do, should we just do like entire screen outputs? Let's just pick the same output, share. Hello, everybody. Now I'm going to move this around. I'm going to do a little 5 seconds. Let's like go like this, back and forth to some tabs here. We got the LinkedIn open. We've got this Twitter open. I was watching Primeagen Vibe Code there for a second because I'm always curious.
He'll watch us
what's
one
going
day.
on in
Shout
the
out to the
world.
Primeagen.
And then, yeah, this is our back to here. I'm just going to tab around. Let's stop recording. And now let's play this recording. This one was the 1208. It works, dude. I don't know if you guys can hear it.
I can't hear because it's in your headphones, but that's okay. I'll trust you.
It's fine. It's working, dude.
Now here's a question. If you if you deployed this right now, there's no login. So if I were to use this tool, are you going to build any type of login so that my recordings are to me? Like how do these recordings live?
This lives on your computer.
Just local on your machine.
Local on your machine, dude. Anybody can use it. It's not a I'm not going to charge. These will just show up. You may have to, so I can delete from here, which is super interesting. So I can delete this old one, and like, okay. And then now I have this. If I refresh, it's still here. I have to turn the camera on. We could probably do that where it like persists and starts with the camera. I could probably, we do things like that. But now, I mean, this is working. What could be really fun now is let's just pop back over to tab 3 here. And let's just say like all works great. I'm not going to make any, we don't need to make any updates, but I'll show you what I would do. I would go to GitHub. I'm going to go and create a new repository under our name, and it's going to be called Unloom. And I'm going to make it public so everybody can use it. I'm going to create the repository. Perfect. And I don't even think I made this existing. Yeah, this isn't existing a Git repository yet. So I'm going to really quickly do like, let's go down here. We do git init. This will turn this into a Git repository. I'm going to set the remote. So what this is doing for those, like for you to know, so when Git runs locally on my machine, it does version control on my machine. You could see it like initialized. I'm on the master branch. This is now telling me there's also a remote version of this. And so it's going to allow it to push to that area. Then there's this Git branch and main. This is GitHub. GitHub likes the default branch to be main. I could actually skip this. There's a whole snafu about that, but I'm not going to. And then you can do the Git push U origin main. Same thing. You can just do their thing. Something didn't work. Oh, because I have to git edit, git commit, building. Let's just call this the initial codebase. Git push origin main. Done. We could go back over here. When I refresh, our code base will be here. Amazing. Now, the way that I think this works is I go settings, and there's something called GitHub pages, and I have to find where it is because it is totally.
I see it on the left.
I could probably
down.
You see pages?
Yeah, down in the navigation.
Oh yeah, there it is. There it is. Deploy from branch. Let's pick main. GitHub pages is currently disabled. Select a source below. I think this is what I want to do. Selecting root. Yep. Save. Amazing. All right. I think that is it. Now, let me just see here what the URL is going to be. It's going to be HTTPS. This would allow you to go to, so we can even like ask Claude this. Great. I'll just say like, great. Just pushed it to GitHub. Can you tell me what the URL is going to be if I publish to GitHub pages now? It'll actually look at what the remote is.
Like, do we have to attach it to a domain? Like, do we make a subdomain for this or something?
We could if we wanted to. You don't have to. It should actually just appear like right here. So like, see this here? Hang on.
Selfishly, I
Just got
wanted
this
to live
going.
at unloom.causeofakind.com, and I wanted to say at the bottom, built by Cause of a Kind, selfishly.
Well, here it is. causeofakind.github.io/unloom.
Okay.
It's ready to rock. Now, what I can do now is I can do something like this. Can you see this
Yep.
little
Yep.
Yep. Now I can do an install. I can do a web app. I can name it Unloom.
What's up, DHH?
I
Come
can
on
put
our
the
podcast. Thanks for this.
Unloom. And I do need some icons. So let's go over here and get dashboard icons. Let's see what we want it to be. Let's search for like a video of some kind. What do you like? I don't want to choose anything too branded, but what do we like? What do we like? Is there like a film? Is there like film or something? Camera? These are
Dude,
all,
you got to use a wrinkle on our favicon or something like that. Just triangles. I like that thing right there. What does it say? Axis, the yellow triangle at the top. It's kind of cool.
these are actual
These are actually apps,
company.
though. Yeah.
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 Like I was like I'm looking for like
You can use the general
find out.
recording icon. Type in record.
Yeah, what about, yeah, do they have anything like channels DVR? I could do this. Sure. Why don't we take this one? Uh, icon URL, copy direct URL. It's got to be a PNG. Let me paste it in there. Bang. Done. Now when I go like this, I can go unloom. Boom. Now it's here. Now I can select where I want to save it to. I could pick from my folders. So I had created home, Dropbox, Unloom videos, select, allow, bang, allow while visiting the site. Sick. Camera on. Hello. Now, dude, I just replaced Loom here. And now I got my own little recording suite and I can share these videos. I may add things like if I could do the Dropbox link, that would be pretty sick. Or like given like that I'm doing it in Dropbox, I'll add some bells and whistles to this for y'all so you can do like Google Drive versus Dropbox and you could copy a share link. But dude, it's free. It's there. Anybody can screen record now.
So here's the
And
question: can I go to that URL and do it myself?
do you want to do it right now? Hang on, let me
All
stop
right.
sharing and send it to you.
Send it to
Yeah, yeah,
me.
yeah. Hang on, sending it to you. And now we could connect like our Google Drive too, and like the business Google Drive and use that also. Like it's all very doable. But I do think that in the future for docs, I want to embed the video in the docs so that I don't have to worry about like URLs and if I delete folders and move things around, they break. So that's it, dude. $192 a month saved.
Peace. Good riddance.
And
But we love
what is
Loom.
what we've been recording for 30 minutes here?
But we love Loom.
Yeah, I mean,
Sponsor strictly
Atlassian
from
owns them.
nowhere.
They're not hurting. Atlassian ain't hurting.
So here we are. Can you see my screen?
You got to share it. I don't see it yet.
My bandwidth might be a little slow. Let's see. Screen share.
I could make
Entire screen.
now I'm like thinking like what other little apps can I like vibe away that I'm only using like a tiny little bit of, that
So like for me, maybe I would just choose like my desktop as the destination.
you could
It says can't
do Google Drive too though.
That's interesting. It says can't open this folder.
Oh, you can't do desktop because
Because
it's a browser restriction.
System files.
Choose a different folder. Try Google Drive. Do our Google Drive.
I'll try just general Google Drive. We'll just save it at the root of Google Drive. Select that. Nope. Causeofakind.github.io will be able to edit files in Coke. Yep, allow that. Great. So now I can select my microphone. I have to allow the browser.
You got to allow that. That you have to do for Loom also.
Yep. So here's my microphone. I like my Hyper Quadcast. Shout out to HyperX Quadcast. And I can put my camera on. Hello. And so we'll record this real quick. We'll do this little setup. Go ahead and share it. And so, yeah, I think we're recording. Snap back to Riverside. Catch a little bit of that in the recording. Infinite mirror. Here we go. 10-second recording. We'll go stop. And here's my saved experience. And I don't see yours. It's just to me. I can go ahead and
Yeah,
The
and like
volume.
we could throw like a cloud, like you could make a cloud version. Like, don't get me wrong, I could sit here and be like, let's put, but like, why?
But
Like,
why?
the whole point of this was to eliminate costs and like the complexity of apps is now I got to add Stripe and subscriptions and I got to worry about scaling it for
Right.
everybody. Just save that. Now, does the video work for you? Like,
Video
play
worked.
it out for yourself,
Video worked,
and the sound is
and
good.
audio worked, which was great.
See, and that was the thing. Like there's a screen recording option for Romarchi, which just does the screen, but it doesn't do audio. And then there's this OBS Studio, which is just it's a little too mega for me, man. I can't learn everything. I got it's like I just needed something basic to give some demos with. So this for me is absolutely perfect. And then I can, like I said, I'll do a little cleanup. Maybe I'll give you a link copy feature if you're using a drive that's connected to cloud storage. We'll see if that's possible. But dude, that's about as vibed out as you can get right there. And
In 33 minutes as of right this minute. Not bad. And then now it's just about polish and the selfish shit that I love, which is like put it on a subdomain for us, put it built by cause of a kind in the open source. Just the polish shit because I'm a narcissist, I guess.
no, I listen. Listen. There's no shame in promoting. I said so. Yeah, I'll add the GitHub link to the page too, so people could visit the Git. Listen, I'm like contribute, like make a feature request, and we
That'd be
may
awesome.
decide that it's something we don't want or we do want, but it's not like beyond. There's no build step or anything either, which is pretty cool. It's just it's just straight, JavaScript and an HTML file.
Right.
So I think that's
So
cool.
now here's where this really is like comes back to the base of business. We are forecasting our expenses and our streams of revenue. And so if you forecast out, let's call it over the next 36 months, I'm only going to continue to increase my cost to subscription platforms as you add more seats, as you take on more storage, like whatever the play is for that particular platform. And so over the next 3 years, back of the napkin math, how much money are you going to save?
Right.
Just by vibe coding something for 33 minutes. Is it perfect? No. Is it enterprise Loom? No. But maybe it turns into that as like a little piece at a time as you find little things that you want. So let's just have a little fun. Let's just do it over the course of 2 years at 192 months. So 24 months times $192 per month. It's a savings of $4,600 over 2 years. It's not nothing.
Bro, that's a Disney vacation for someone like me and my family. You know what I'm saying? Like, listen, I'd much rather go to Disney than give Atlassian my money. That's all I'm thinking about. So sometimes, but here's the thing: that's assuming no growth too. That's just because it's just you and me on that Loom account. The employees are using kind of free versions, but if we wanted to have like a company account and put everybody in there, it would
Expensive.
cost that. There would be a multiple on that. So it's just not the kind of thing. Like I said, we're paying for cloud storage in all these places. I got Dropbox, I got Google Drive, we even have Cloudinary if we wanted to hook it up to Cloudinary if we wanted to. We use that for things too. I don't need to pay for all that cloud storage.
Right.
And heck, dude, who knows? The next thing might be vibe coding a replacement to Cloudinary. I might just get an S3 bucket and do my own thing.
But also, please feel free, whoever's watching this, to fork it and do whatever you need to do. Like if you feel like you need some cloud storage and you want to iterate on this and you want to turn it into a SaaS platform, just have me on your podcast when you're successful. That's the way that this goes. Cool. Dude, good episode. Built something in 33, 36 minutes now total. Not too bad. We'll put it in the show notes.
Love it.
Until tomorrow. Peace.
Have a good one, guys.